Hello friends, I welcome you all for the next lecture of unit number 6. In last lecture, we had started with unit number 6, that is earth moving equipment. Under that, we had seen what are the various earth moving equipment, and we had studied one important earth moving equipment, dozers or bulldozers. So we had seen what is bulldozer, what are the various factors which affect the output of a bulldozer, and what are the various types of blades that are used. So in this lecture we are going to discuss the next equipment, that is power shovels, dragline and clamp shell. So these equipments are having slight difference. We will discuss the working operation, the output and factors affecting the output of all these three equipments along with its applications. So we will start with the simplest equipment, that is power shovels. These power shovels are also known as shovels, and it consists of a boom, a dipper stick and the bucket and the mechanism of operation. So here figure 1 shows a power shovel. Here we can see this is a mechanism of a operation. This is a dipper stick to which a bucket is attached for the excavation purpose, and it also consists of boom as well as cable for operation of this bucket. So basically the working of this power shovel consists of correcting the position of this bucket near the earth that is to be excavated. So when we will take a position of this bucket where we have to carry out the excavation, after that this dipper stick is lowered with teeth pointing into the face. Here we can see this teeth is pointing into the face, and after that a force is applied through this hoist line or cables to pull the dipper up. So after application of a force through this cable to this stick, this bucket will be pulled in upper direction like this, and because of which the earth will get excavated and this bucket gets filled with the excavated material. After this, the upper part of the machine is then slewed. So this upper part of the machine is slewed, that is turned into the horizontal plane to a dumping position. Means whatever the excavated material that is filled into this bucket will be dumped in a dumper, and that dumper will take the excavated material to the dumping site. So the cycle time is a time which is required to complete a one set of operation, and this one set of operation consists of the time required for aligning of the bucket, the digging, that is excavation of the material, plus loading the material into the bucket, plus swinging the boom for dumping the material in a dumper, plus the time required for dumping the excavated material in a dumper, plus the time required for the dumper to return on its original position, will complete the one set of operation, and which is called as a cycle time. So this cycle time is different for different equipments, and it may vary. So here figure 2 shows a power shovel, and this is a crawler type of power shovel. Here we can see this is a crawler type of power shovel. Basically these equipments are available in two types. First one like this crawler type, and or we can say crawler mounted, and second one is the tire mounted. So in a terrain which is with a rough ground surface, in that case we can use this crawler type of equipment, and if the terrain is plain, in that case we can use a rubber mounted equipment. So this is the difference between crawler mounted and rubber tire mounted equipment. So to find out the output of a shovel, we can use a formula. Output of shovel is given by output is equal to Q into 3600 divided by C into efficiency, where Q is the production in meter cube per cycle, and it can be found out by using Q is equal to heaped capacity multiplied by swell factor multiplied by bucket factor, and the cycle time is an addition of time required for excavation, swinging and dumping. So in first lecture of unit number 1, I already told that we are going to discuss all these terminologies that is required for solving the numerical in the last lecture of unit number 6. So we will discuss the heap capacity as well as swell factor, bucket factor, swing time, this efficiency, and all the terminology that are required for solving the numerical in last lecture of the unit number 6. Coming to the factors affecting the output of a shovel. So there are various factors which affects the output of a power shovel. It includes nature of soil, depth of cut, angle of swing, capacity of hauling unit and number, job conditions, mechanical condition of shovel, efficiency of operator, size of bucket, type of machine, etc., etc. So first factor is the nature of soil. Generally the power shovels are applicable for the clayey soil, because the bucket is operated towards the machine. So if it is a cohesive soil, then or if it is a hard rock, then it may become difficult for the power shovel to excavate. The next governing factor is the depth of cut. So here the depth of cut means the depth which produces the greatest output and at which dipper comes up with a full load, means when a force is applied through a hoist cable and excavation is started. So in that case the excavated material should be filled in a bucket up to its top level, so that the greatest output can be achieved. So this is a governing factor for the output of a shovel. The next is the angle of swing. So angle of swing also plays an important role. A large angle increases the cycle time of the machine, and if the angle of swing is increased, the time per cycle is decreased. Means more the angle of swing, the cycle time required is less. The next important factor is capacity of hauling unit and number. So if small hauling units are used, the size of the equipment should be small, whereas for large equipment, large hauling unit should be used. Next is the job condition. If the job conditions are favorable for working, in that case the output of the shovel will be more. Next factor is the mechanical condition of shovel. So if mechanical condition of shovel is good, in that case greatest output can be obtained. Next factor is the efficiency of operator. If operator is skilled one or can handle a machine with a proper operation, so in that case output will be highest. Next important factor is the size of bucket. So in selecting this on a project, one should match the equipment and bucket properly to obtain the best action, the greatest operating efficiency that will produce greatest output of material. If the material is difficult to excavate, the use of a smaller bucket should be there, which will reduce the digging resistance and may permit an increase in the production. Next factor is the type of machine. So already we had discussed there are two type of machine, crawler mounted and wheel mounted. So as per the terrain condition, we can use the type of machine. So these are the various factors which affect the output of a shovel. Coming to the applications of power shovel, generally this power shovel is used for close range works. It can also be used for digging a hard rock. For the excavation of hard rock, power shovels are used. It can also be used for removal of big boulders, and the main application of this power shovel is we can excavate or we can go for the digging below the ground level, which is not possible in other type of equipment. The power shovel also finds applications in road works for trimming and dressing of slopes and banks. It can also be used for quarrying, mining and heavy construction works, and it can dig a trench. So these are the various applications of power shovel. It can also be used for side casting. It can also be used for removing the overburden in open cut mining. The next equipment is the drag line. So the name drag line is because of operation of dragging the bucket against the material to be dug. So here we can see a bucket is used for the excavation. This is a drag rope. This is a drag coupler which is attached to this bucket, and this is a hoist coupler through which a force is applied to this bucket and because of which there is a excavation. These are the various hoist ropes. This is a boom and this is a mechanism that is used for the operation of this whole assembly. So the digging tool, which is called as a bucket, is loosely attached to the boom through cables. Here we can see this is a boom of a machine and to which cables are attached, and to these cables the bucket is attached. Thus dig and dump over long distances. Because of the provision of these cables, such type of equipment can dig and dump the material over long distances, and such type of equipment handle digging of wet material or underwater excavation. So this is a special type of equipment which is generally used to excavate the material under the water. So figure 3, the drag line is as shown here. Coming to the operation of drag line, so all of you should practice the drawing of this drag line. Here we can see this is a working mechanism. This is a hoist cable. This is a boom. This is a dump cable. This is a drag cable through which force is applied. This is the bucket which is used for excavation. A to which a drag chain as well as hoist chain is applied. So a force is applied through this drag cable, and because of which drag chain and hoist chain is also operated. So the working of dragline or operation consists of hoist and drag cables are released till bucket rests on ground with teeth digging into the earth. So this hoist and drag cables are released or are made loose till this bucket will rest on the ground where we have to carry out the actual excavation. So suppose this is a ground surface. So suppose this is a ground surface and where I have to carry out the excavation. So in this case, after releasing a drag and hoist cable, the bucket will be at this position and teeth of the bucket are digging into the earth. After this, a hoist cable is slackened slightly and drag pulley is applied. So this hoist cable is slackened or loose slightly and a drag pull is applied, and because of which this bucket gets filled with the earth material and bucket takes the horizontal position and it is then hoisted to the dumping area. When required height is attained, the boom is swung to the position and drag brake is released. This dumps the load of the bucket and the boom is then swung to digging position and the cycle of operation gets repeated. The working mechanism of this drag line is also very simple, and the cycle time of this drag line can be found out by addition of the time required for aligning, digging, drag pull application, loading, bucket take horizontal position, dumping and returning. So addition of all these times will give you the cycle time for the drag line. The output of the drag line can be found out by using the formula. Output is equal to drag line bucket capacity multiplied by C into multiplied by F, where C is the theoretical cycles per hour and it is generally 120 cycles per hour, means in an hour a drag line complete 120 cycles, and F is a correction factor which can be found out by multiplication of F1 multiplied by F2 multiplied by F3 multiplied by F4 multiplied by F5 multiplied by F6 multiplied by F7. Again, the factors affecting the output of a drag line are same as that of factors affecting the output of a power shovel. So I think there is no need to explain all these factors. Again, I will just read the factors. The factors are nature of soil, depth of cut, angle of swing, capacity and number of hauling units, mechanical condition of drag line, efficiency of operator, layout of size and type of bucket and boom, teeth of bucket and its condition. So the factors are same as that of a power shovel. So the applications of drag line. The drag line finds applications in excavation for large foundations. It is also used for removing deposits of clay and gravel below the water level, and it can also be used for excavation of drain pipes. Next important equipment is the clamshell. So clamshell is a machine having most of the characteristics of drag line and crane in common. The machine so named due to the resemblance of its bucket to a clam, which is a shell fish with a hinged double shell. So here the figure number 5 shows a clam shell. So we can see this is a bucket. This is a bucket of a clam shell, and the shape of the bucket is like a clam, that is like a shell fish which is hinged at this point. Therefore it is called as a clam shell. The front end of this is a crane boom with a bucket which is loosely attached at the end through cables as in a dragline. The bucket consists of two halves or shells. Here we can see the two portions or halves which are hinged at the top and provided with sharp edge or teeth at the lower end. So here we can see it is provided with a sharp edge or teeth at the lower end. The digging is done like a dragline, and once the bucket is filled, it works like a crane. Therefore, it is a combination of dragline and crane. Basically, the operation of this clamshell consists of digging or filling operation, which consists of lowering the bucket with the shells open over the material to be dug till a good contact made with it. So here suppose I have to carry out the excavation to this level. So this bucket will be lowered to this level with a teeth open. After that a force is applied through the cable and this closing line. After the application of a force through this closing line and after reaching this bucket to the particular level, the bucket gets closed, and which fills the material in the bucket after getting or after completion of this operation. The cable is then hoisted and swung to the position of dumping, and contents are dropped into a dumpers for a dumping. So the working of this clamshell is same as that of a dragline, only the thing is here the force is applied through the closing line, and because of which the buckets get closed after filling the material in a bucket. The output of this clamshell can be found out by using the same formula as that of a dragline. So it can be found out as output is equal to clamshell bucket capacity multiplied by C multiplied by F. The applications of clamshell, as the clamshell has the characteristics of a dragline and some of crane, so it can be used in following types of applications: for digging or dumping in a vertical plane, that is below or at or above the ground level. It can also be used for a relatively soft or medium hard material. It can also be used for digging trenches as well as where accurate dumping is required. So here till this lecture we had studied these equipment, that is dipper shovel, dragline and clamshell. Backhoe is not in our syllabus, so I have not gone through backhoe. Now we will compare the various shovels. So first point is the operation in hard soil or rock. So Shovels are good, dragline are poor. Backhoe and clamshell are good for operation in hard soil. For operation in wet soil, dipper shovel is poor, dragline is fair, backhoe is poor, and clamshell is fair. So generally, for operation in wet soil, clamshells are preferable. Next point of consideration is distance between footing and digging. So for in this power shovel, the distance between footing and digging is small. For dragline it is long, for backhoe it is small, and clamshell it is long. If you compare the loading efficiency, power shovel offers very good efficiency as compared to dragline, and backhoe is good, and clamshell is slow. The next important point is the digging level, means at which level we can use this material. So power shovel can be used at or above the footing level. The dragline is used below the footing level, means below the ground surface we can use dragline. Similarly, backhoe can also be used below the ground level, and clamshell can be used at ground level, above the ground surface, or below the ground surface. The cycle time, here the cycle time is compared with the dipper shovel. So therefore dragline has more cycle time as compared to power shovel. The backhoe also have more cycle time, and clamshell have highest or high cycle time as compared to the power shovel. So this is about the comparison of dipper shovel, dragline, backhoe and clamshell. So with this we will stop here and continue in the next lecture with the next earth moving equipment. Thank you.